There's just so much going on this week. I think really what we should all be doing here is looking for the exploits. What a week, huh? Gold price just pushed back past $2,000. And I don't think that that's any real surprise. The war premium is definitely still in effect. And we've been seeing a case where investors rush into gold on Fridays. It's to protect against unknowns over the weekend, I guess. These Friday spikes are becoming a thing, so I can't say that we could have predicted that we'd be in the 2000s, but we were definitely getting some hints. At the same time, it's been a terrible week for the markets. The S&P 500 is now officially in correction territory, down 10% from its high, 3 months ago. We aren't analyzing markets here, but all that's definitely notable. All three of the averages got punched down pretty hard this week. So, interesting times all around. Before we get back to it, if you're looking for precious metals, hit up SD Bullion. New customers even get gold and silver for spot. That's sdbullion.com/new. So longer term feelings for me haven't really changed much. Unknowns aside, I would expect a pullback as soon as we see any kind of de-escalation in the Middle East. I think that's a safe assumption. I'm also expecting prices to push back up on the eventual Fed pause. Another case that we'll see eventually. So a quick spike, a pullback, it's not really a big deal because this is a long hold for me, and what happens in between isn't normally going to change much. We've had volatility from the last few weeks, though, that has definitely been weird. We saw a 10% dip, now we're seeing an 8% jump, and that's enough to get me to make some short-term moves that I wouldn't normally bother with. I've already mentioned that I bought more on the drop that we just saw, and now that we're seeing this spike, well, I just sold some too. So nothing dramatic here, of course, but I end up with these one-off whim coins probably more often than I should. They don't really fit my typical goals, and as much as I like the design of some of these coins, like the US Mint high relief liberties here, I have to handle them differently, I have to store them differently, and given a good reason, I have to sell them differently too. So these coins, of course, didn't get sold. You wouldn't be seeing them here if they did, but I sold two others. And why would anyone care what I'm doing? I suppose I'm just mentioning this because I mention when I buy, so why not when I sell? And today's jump in price, it's not based on the longer term forces, it's based on Israel. And to a lesser extent, probably in the sense that a recession is starting to feel real. So selling on a spike caused by a swing event like this, not to be crass about the human tragedy going on, but that is something that I would do if I was making a trade in the market. So it seemed like a good time to move some random gold that I was going to sell eventually. I'm going to be a little bit cagey about what I sold because the coins are specific enough that I'll out myself to both of the buyers. But one's a Perth Mint coin. One is, that's not a big secret, it's a second of one of these high relief liberties. I had an extra one of them. I was originally trying to buy two of each, but I gave up. And then another was a damaged coin, something I thought I was getting a deal on until I put it under the scope. I just never really got over it. So win some, lose some. I ended up happy with the sale price on all three of the coins, though. I feel like today was a good time to sell. Now, saying that, I should probably mention physical gold is just not something I trade. I don't try to buy it low, sell it high over and over. I think that's probably not a good idea to operate at all, really. I mean, it's a good way to get stung. The premiums are just hard to get over in short time frames. I trade other things. This is just savings to me. And if you think about it like savings and not like some kind of collection, well, things start to change a little bit. I bet I have 20 ounces of gold that doesn't fit my typical focus. So things I have to handle differently, store differently, sell differently. And I would say that I probably get carried away sometimes. It's a side effect of the YouTube channel, and that shows with those odd coins I end up with. I do like having some variety, but it only goes so far. Now I should sell all that down, convert it to Eagles, to Buffaloes, maybe Maple Leafs or a few others, but it is a different process selling atypical coins if you're trying to sell to a local shop. That doesn't mean you can't do it. Don't beat me up in the comments about that. Some dealers truly don't care. But what I've found is that if I sell over and over and over to a shop and I'm only bringing in the kind of gold that they don't normally sell and might not really want, well, the welcome starts to wear out, or at least wear down maybe.
Now, you might be thinking, you just don't care. You're never going to sell. And we might be different there. For me to be comfortable buying a lot of gold, I need to know that I can quickly sell it too, especially considering the primary purpose of this stuff for me is emergency use. Now, hopefully, I don't run into that emergency and I can send it down to my kids, but that's still the general purpose. Now, just to make sure that this isn't a confusing video here, I wasn't selling down my stack. I'm not offloading everything I have. I was just taking advantage of what I think is a quick spike, something I think will be followed by a dip. That's before things go back up. And I just sold a small percentage of what I have. Now, if we wanted to look at bigger percentages, I also sold Bitcoin on Thursday. And I know that's always a popular topic around here. People love that stuff, but I actually did sell that down. I'm expecting a dip there too. I just don't think this was a normal week. And maybe I'm overanalyzing, but a lot of the things that I've been paying attention for in the markets and in the wider picture just all came into focus. And I made more trades this week in gold, in the markets, and crypto than I have the rest of the year combined. Who knows? This probably means everything I moved out of will just go up further on Monday, but sometimes you have to go with your gut. And as for those coins, well, I'd already been looking to sell them, so I was really just taking advantage of an exploit. So let's call it good there. Let us know what you're up to with gold and silver. Are you buying into this one feeling like price is still on the way up, or are you holding or even selling? Let us know. And then while you're in the comments, be sure to hit that like button if you found any of this interesting. Be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you'd like to see more on the topic. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.